Hello, good evening. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I am sharing with you the life history of Karl Marx. The early life and background of Karl Marx. Karl Marx was born 5th May 1818 in Tyre, a town in the western part of Republic of Russia. He was the third of 9 children in a middle class family. His father, Heinrich Marx, was a successful lawyer who had converted Judaism to Christianity to keep his job during the time of anti Jewish laws in Russia. His mother, Henriette Persberg, came from a wealthy Dutch Jewish family. Max grew up in a relatively comfortable household and received a good education. His father exposed to him a good enlightenment, thinkers like Voltaire and Kant, which had a long lasting impact. Karl Marx education and early philosophy. In 1835, at the age of 17, Marx enrolled at the University of Bonn to study law, but he was more interested in poetry, literature, and drinking clubs. Concerned about his future, his father transferred him to the University of Berlin, where Marx immersed himself in the ideas of George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. Although Marx joined a group known as the Young Hegelians, who were radical and critical of religion and Russian state. Thus, he eventually broke away from their idealism. Marx began developing his own materialistic conception of history, the idea that economic conditions shape society and history, not abstract ideas. In 1841, Karl Marx earned doctorate in philosophy from the University of Jena. His thesis focused on ancient Greek philosophy, but struggled to find a teaching position due to his radical views. Next is journalism and meeting angels. In 1843, Karl Marx married Jenny von Westphalen, a child from a noble family. The same year, they moved to Paris. He met Frederick Engels, the son of a German industrialist. Engels seen the harsh condition of factory workers in England and shared Max's concern. This partnership was crucial. Engels financially supported Max for most of his life and co-authored many of his works. Together, they wrote the German ideology in 1846, which outlined their theory of historical materialism, the belief that history is driven by material economic forces and class struggle. In 1845, as revolutionary movements erupted across Europe, Karl Marx and Engels published the Communist Manifesto for Communist League. Its famous opening line: a spectre is haunting Europe, the spectre of communism. The manifesto called for the working class, proletariat, to rise against the ruling class, is bourgeois, and abolish capitalism. His exile and hardships in London. After the failure of the 1848 revolutions, Karl Marx was expelled from several countries like France, Belgium, and Germany. Karl Marx eventually settled in London in 1849, where he would live for the rest of his life. Marx lived in poverty, often relying on angels for financial support. Several of his children died due to poor living conditions. Despite this, Marx spent years conduct research in British Museum, studying economics, history, and political theory. He published a contribution to the Critique of Political Economy in 1859 and began work on his magnum opus, the Das Kapital, which critiqued capitalist economic system. The first international and later years. In 1864, Karl Marx helped found the International Workmen's Association. First National is called First National, a coalition of socialist, anarchist, and labor groups. He played a leading role in its activities, although internal divisions, especially with the anarchists led by Mikhail Bakunin, eventually led to its collapse. is in 1867, Karl Marx published the volume 1 of Das Kapital, which analyzed capitalism, surplus value, exploitation, and the tendency of capital to concentrate. Volume 2 and Volume 3 were published posthumously by Angels using Marx notes. In his later years, Marx's health declined. He continued writing, but much of his work remained unfinished. His wife Jenny died in 1881, and Karl Marx himself died in March 14, 1883 in London. At his funeral, Angels gave a famous eulogy declaring, just as Darwin discovered the law of development of organic nature, so Karl Marx of the law of development of human history. Next, his legacy. Although Karl Marx was relatively unknown in his lifetime, outside of revolutionary circles, by ideas become enormously influential after his death. The Russian Revolution of 1917, led by Bolsheviks, brought Marxist theory to power for the first time. Karl Marx's theories gave rise to a broad range of movements: socialism, communism, Marxist economics, and critical theory. His analysis of capitalism, especially issues like inequality, exploitation, and alienation, continues to be studied, debated, and reinterpreted around the world. Thanks for watching this video. If you like the video, just comment it. Bye now.